Space. The drive through wheat fields, small, shitty towns, and great stretches of dust with only the river running high in early summer for company makes me claustrophobic. You can see too far in every direction and become then acutely aware of how little there is to see. I feel like a dust mote and the highway in August sunbeam. I am suspended, floating, in particular, nowhere. These great expanses of nothing make me more keenly aware of the emptiness I feel sometimes inside myself. Imagine looking into the sky and seeing no stars, only inky black. This is how it feels to think about the future. I once stared so long into a sky filled with constellations and the smudged brilliance of the Milky Way that I began to feel as though I was floating up into and through the night sky. Sometimes when I look up at the same sky, I am overcome with the urge to reach out and pull back the dark like a curtain. I'll tell you a secret about a rural America. Even the smallest, shittiest towns glow twice a day. When great bruises bloom in the sky, turning the emptiness the color of pink roses, dark, dusty plums, and honey. Familiarity. I think of you as a distant planet, as an untouched wild, as the worn spot on my kitchen floor where my bare feet have faded the color of the cheap linoleum in the years between house and home. You are as uncertain as the deep black blue of the night, where I search for you among the stars. When I cannot sleep, I peer into the dark, looking for the shape of you glowing dimly. I hope you are not cold or lonely in all that space. You have all the familiarity of the dirt footpaths formed on my grandparents' land, weaving through tawny underbrush, sparse balsam flowers, wild asparagus and sagebrush, the smell of heat and dust and distant river water. You are the shadow of every bird, sparrow, crow, unnamed waterbird, and unseen hawk. Every cotton-white, sun-gold cloud looks like you. I am looking for you always, finding you sometimes, in the sun through emerald leaves, in the dust settled on the windowsill, stirred by the wind, in the morning frost on my window, spider-webbing into 1,000 glittering tendrils to spell your name or trace the shape of your brow. If I hear you, in the whisper of the tall grass at twilight, or the settling of the house early in the morning before the sun is up, know that I'll answer you, in the near darkness, with your name. Worship. It's a form of worship, you tell me, ignoring the blood that leaves me like honey from the comb, a small march towards something holy. You wore prayer beads around your wrists to keep from cutting them open and spilling all their blue-red secrets. I don't think God can fit inside 27 painted beads, but maybe part of him can. Whatever you pray to, can you pray for me too, and let me know the answers next time I see you? I'm feeling lightheaded, and I can't stop thinking about the way the scars will look when I've stitched myself shut and then cut the stitches out again. A highway, maybe. A mountain ridge or city skyline. Or, from a distance, home.
The inner planets. The inner planets are embodied by the bulbs at the pulsing ends of my fingertips. The asteroid belt is the density aura that contains the horizon line of my aesthetic image. And beyond this, in the outer reaches, giants are tamed in fixed orbits, fixed generations, pulling on humanity's history like a drunken puppeteer. But I'm here in this mix, gyrating in the fixed irritations, the common snags, asking questions of if my heart is in the right place. Am I too still? Should I strive more? Or am I too tense? Should I be still more? Asking what direction best serves my shifting character. What path best serves me if there's no map? It's all a mess, you see. Common distress it will be. If it's not this, then it is that. The planets jostling where my eyes lead. Today my knees hurt, and tomorrow my neck. And the next day I'll realize I haven't done enough for myself. Then I'll come down with a sense of heavy dread about the systematic nature of the bureaucratized, dehumanized world. Because it all seems to be set. How the planetary bodies pull on my person, how they commingle with atoms and quanta to gestate swelling in some proportions and constricts other proportions, flexing physical and metaphysical faculties. And these humans, they claim free will while their DNA strands chime out near carbon copies of each other, and sons emulate their fathers and marry carbon copies of their mothers. And I wonder, if they're so free, why don't they leap into space and float off to a utopian planet? And since their will is free, physics don't apply to them. I wonder, why don't they just change the metaphysical nature of duality as to not feel such detestable things as fear and cowardice? And I mean, they're so free. To think they're free while their flashing screens feed them propagandized cannon fodder, and they reach these conclusions as if they are their own original thoughts. And I'm powerless to change this. My own awareness, my own foolishness, my own erratic mood, sentiments, blind desires spontaneously guiding me through the reckless reaches of the midway point between the stellar and the microscopic. And I can ask the question, why all the trouble? Why such a mess? But the question was born through a thought that arrived in my mind through no discernible origin. And the question was spoken by means of words that in themselves mean nothing and whose meaning is bound to no discernible origin. And to realize that I'm stuck in a fixed orbit, that placentas only spit out so many types, that there's an energetic quota on our ineffable reality and it needs to meet it for no discernible reason. And this exists with no discernible objective origin. And none of this is absurd, it seems to them. It takes the form of the words, "That's just the way it is." And it seems I feel this way because the Pleiades grew dim in the black canvas sky, and the draconian bulbs beamed, leaving my mind reamed on the manifested mess that they call Earth. And I feel this is a trouble, but I'll likely forget about it tomorrow and wonder instead about the shape of my ears.
Dissension. Some nights the moon doesn't rise. The wind ceases to blow. Houses shuddered against an outside world. On those nights, the stars still shine, if only to proclaim they're still alive in our time. 5 hours. Hour 1. All is well. New day, new faces, same routines, and mild conversation. Hour 2. Wipe down every surface, religiously, after every rush and sickly-looking customer. Hour 3. Washed hands 10 times by now, wondering why all these people are out, planning vacations and trips to epicenter locations. Hour 4. A tickle in my throat, but I swear I'm just dehydrated. Too much of a sugar on break. Step back from my counter, please. The sneeze was just a reaction to a cloud of perfume. Hour 5, itchy skin, panic at the thought of bringing germs home, a tiny sore throat. I swear it's dehydration. How many bugs were crawling on the $2,000 I handled? What surfaces did I miss? Is it hot in here, or am I running a fever? This plexiglass too thin, this bleach too diluted. Time to go home and scrub the meat off my bones, only to go to sleep, feel just fine, and repeat the hours one by one. I swear, I'm fine. I just smoked a little too much weed. Allergy season is abound. It's okay. It's okay. Is it just me, or is it 80 fucking degrees in this room? What viruses did I smear on my way back to my safe space? Steering wheel, doorknobs, phones, keys, tip money, it all must burn. 5 hours without a hazmat suit, with everyone and their mother sharing air. Is it hot in here, or is it just me? Pulp. Mold grows on the pages of a book, ink forced into the flat-pressed pulp from harvested trees, bound by glue and thread between gaudy covers. Stories untouched, untold, reclaimed by untouchable truths. The mold, it grows on the pages of a book I forgot about long ago. 1 Mississippi. Cracks in skin like the Grand Canyon. 2 Mississippi. A resemblance to a grandmother's. 3 Mississippi. Flaky like cradle cap on a newborn. 4 Mississippi. Scaly like alligator tails. 5 Mississippi. Dry as a valley of fire. 6 Mississippi. Do fingerprints dull? 7 Mississippi. Gotta kill it all with water and suds. 8 Mississippi. If that doesn't work, get the napalm. 9 Mississippi. What's the weather like in Vietnam this time of year? 10 Mississippi. I heard the river flows north. 11 Mississippi. Just like the Nile. 12 Mississippi. Is my grandfather okay? 13 Mississippi. He catches pneumonia like frogs catch flies. 13 Mississippi. Wait, did I already say 13? 14 Mississippi. At the point, the longest word I knew how to spell. 15 Mississippi. A bragging point in 3rd grade. 16 Mississippi. Or when do kids learn how to spell Mississippi? 17 Mississippi. When spelled out loud, I say PB. 18 Mississippi. Did I forget any number? 19 Mississippi. This is the day the bleeding starts. 20 Mississippi. Was this hand washing enough? Ought to be. Regardless of a new isolated existence, the trees still breathe with sprouts of spring, flowers blossom between cracks of concrete. Birds are returning with their shouts and desires of breeding. The snow melts, the sun shines, as we peel back the layers of faux winter skins. The world goes on in the ways that it should, and less in the ways we think it ought to be.